there is lots of information around this topic of distance learning. And I bet like a lot of these questions are running through your head as you're thinking about different aspects of distance learning, from what does the acronym ADDIE stand for to how to do something in Google Classroom, right? And there's like tons of questions. And it's a very common problem. And no educator can keep up with all this information that's, coming out. And so to address this issue, we started this, an interactive distance learning database of frequently asked questions around this topic. So let me quickly show you how it works. Professor, if you could click on that hyperlink on distance learning. So on this web page, if you could scroll down a bit, there is a search box, just like, Google search. You can easily look at the list of frequently asked questions, and they're organized by different topics such as curriculum, hardware, network. And many of the things that you're hearing in Professor Rogoff's class are being documented in the respective sections. And also there is a search box, just like the simple Google search, you can search for questions and find relevant answers. And it does it in a very smart way. It is able to understand, for example, the same question of the topic, even if it is asked a little differently, it's able to find. So if you could do me a favor, Professor, maybe click on one of the questions so that they can actually see how the answer reveals itself. So that is, if you're browsing, you get to see the answers. And of course, you can type in a question. Let's put something that we learned today, like what is ADDIE or something like that. So it fetches the information from the database and makes it immediately available. And I want to draw your attention to something that's very unique to this. So let's ask a question that is not in the database. So for example, we could ask a question like, what instructional models are useful for small districts? So click search. Boom. So it's telling us that there is no results were found. But what is very interesting here is that visitors of this page have the opportunity to request an answer to this. And Professor Rogoff and a team of volunteers are monitoring the incoming questions. So they're going to answer them wherever possible, as quickly as possible. And by the way, we are looking for volunteers. So if some of you, after you experience this, want to become part of the community, we'd love for you to engage with us and help answer questions, because the intent here is to actually put it in the hands of educators throughout the country. For example, you have colleagues that are not in the class today, and they could benefit from some of the topics that we've been discussing, and making it easily accessible to them through this platform is one of the goals of this project. And another interesting thing here is that you can easily share and distribute this information. It's an open source database of questions, everything around distance learning. So there is also an embed code that you can request on the page itself. It's also in the PowerPoint that we are sharing with you. So if your school website administrator can add those few lines of code, then essentially the widget that we are experiencing here can be made available on any website of your choice or a blog.